In today's video, we are going to create an amazing poster design in Photoshop. Grab your mouse as we dive in. First things first, we are going to create a new document. Choose a solid color. With a solid color in place, we are going to create a new layer. Grab a soft tone brush. Opacity is set to 100. Foreground is set to white and we are going to click once. Set blend mode to overlay. With the layer selected, Ctrl J to make a copy. Then we are going to set the blend mode of the copy to normal. Reduce the opacity. Now let's grab our asset for this tutorial. We are going to grab this item. Convert that into a smart object. Ctrl T to transform. Position it right about here. Ctrl C to copy. Ctrl V to paste. Right click and convert that into a smart object. Ctrl T to transform. And we are going to drop the layer right here. So we are going to select both layers right here and copy them together. Ctrl T to transform. Then we drop the layer. We are going to create a curves adjustment layer. Create a new layer with a soft tone brush. We are going to reduce opacity and reduce the flow. Foreground set to white, we are just going to paint. With the shift key, we are just going to select all these layers and copy all of them together. Ctrl C to copy, Ctrl V to paste. With the layer selected, Ctrl A and we click right here to center that vertically. Ctrl D to deselect. With this layer selected, Ctrl J to make a copy. Ctrl T to transform. We are going to make it smaller and rotate that. Now let's grab the other items. This selected, we are going to convert that into a smart object. Ctrl T to transform. We right click and we are going to warp this a bit. We make that smaller. We make a copy and position it at the other end. Create a curves adjustment layer. Reduce the opacity. With this layer selected, we are going to create a mask. With the mask selected, we are going to grab the brush tool. Head over and we are going to select this grass brush right here. Make that smaller with the left bracket key. We are going to set foreground to black. Increase opacity and flow. Then we are just going to be masking out this portion. With the layer selected, we are going to create an exposure adjustment layer clipped onto the layer. With the mask selected, Ctrl-I to invert. With a soft tone brush, flow is set to 100. Increase opacity, foreground is set to white, and we are going to paint some shadows. We are going to create a solid color. Copy this as code. With the layer selected, we are going to right click and create a clipping mask. Set blend mode to linear dodge add. Right click on the layer and go for blending options. Now we are going to move this slider a bit. Hold Alt and break the handles. Then we hit OK. With the mask selected, Ctrl-I to invert. With a soft tone brush, we are going to increase opacity, foreground is set to white, and we are going to paint some back. That's too much, so we are going to reduce the opacity. With this layer selected, we are going to create an exposure adjustment layer clipped onto the layer. With the mask selected, Ctrl-I to invert. With a soft tone brush, reduce the opacity, set foreground to white, and we are going to paint some shadows. We are going to create another exposure adjustment layer. This is for highlights. With the mask selected, Ctrl-I to invert. With a soft tone brush, foreground is set to white, and we are going to paint some highlights. So we are just going to repeat the same technique right here. With this layer selected, we are going to create an exposure adjustment layer clipped onto the layer. Invert the mask by pressing Ctrl I. With a soft hand brush, we are just going to paint some shadows. With the soft hand brush, we are just going to paint some shadows. Right click and change roundness of the brush. And we are going to paint more shadows. With this layer selected, we are just going to create a new layer beneath that, right here. With a soft hand brush, right click and change roundness and angle a bit. And we are going to set foreground to black, increase opacity. Then we are just going to paint some contact shadows. Create a mask and we are just going to mask out a portion of that. Right here, we are going to create a new layer. With a soft hand brush, right click and change roundness of the brush. Opacity is set to 100. Foreground is set to black and we are going to create some shadows. Set the blend mode to soft line. Ctrl J to make a copy. Then we are going to set blend mode to normal. Reduce the opacity. With this layer right here, we are going to create a curves adjustment layer already clipped onto the layer. The layer selected, we are going to press Ctrl J to make a copy. Then we are going to select this one. Create an exposure adjustment layer clipped onto the layer. Select the layer, Ctrl T to transform. Right click and we are going to select distort. So we are going to be distorting this layer to actually create the shadow over here. Select it and adjust that a bit. Now we are going to apply Gaussian blur. So we set radius right here and we hit OK. Now we are just going to apply same technique for this as well. Create a curves adjustment layer. Reduce the opacity. Create an exposure adjustment layer. With the mask selected, Ctrl I to invert. So we are just going to paint, overall we are just going to paint some shadows. Once we have everything in place, we are going to press Ctrl Alt Shift E to merge all layers. Right click and convert the layer into a smart object. Then we'll go for camera roll. All we are going to do is we are going to play with the settings until we like the final outcome. Once that is looking good, then we'll hit OK. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I do hope to see you in the next one. Till next time, stay creative.